Hey, I'm Tyler, co-founder and CEO here at Softbox, and I'm really excited to welcome you back to our ongoing series of Saltbox founder stories. These are candid discussions with our members about their journeys in starting, operating, and scaling modern commerce companies. As you'll see, their businesses vary quite widely in size and industry, and yet they all have one thing in common. Saltbox was built for them. In just a moment, we'll hear from Andrew Strickman, founder and CIO of Age Advantage Brands. Andrew and I discussed the importance of listening to your customers, the power of educating versus selling, and building partnerships and community right here inside of Saltbox. I hope you'll enjoy. Andrew, so great to have you here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Tyler. I'm honored to be here.
You are Andrew Strickman, founder and CEO of Age Advantage Brands, and one of our oldest and favorite Saltbox members.
No, well, thank you.
If I can say that, I think everyone will be okay with me saying that.
And I do, thank you very much. And I do want to add, my title now is CIO, but I spell it out so people don't think there's a typo. It's Chief Innovation Officer.
There you go, that works. So, Chief Innovation Officer, tell us briefly, what do you guys do?
About 18 years ago, I founded a skincare brand, which was called Skintelligent Therapeutics, which evolved into Age Advantage Skincare. And we've been a skincare company for that period of time. And then about a year and a half ago, we came out with a CBD line. So now that we had two lines and we're getting ready to launch our Manifest for men's skincare line, that turned into Age Advantage Brands.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. I got a lot of questions for you, but I want to start by going back a bit and talking about where you grew up, your early life and career, and most importantly, what were some of those early entrepreneurial inspirations for you?
For all practical purposes, I'm an Atlanta native. I've been here since the fourth grade. Okay. So we'll start from there.
Just curious, where were you before that?
Actually, my father did his residency in the Army.
Okay.
So I was born at a hospital right across the street from the Alamo. He got transferred when I was 9 months old, which is why I'm not 6'6".
Okay.
And then we moved around until he got out of the Army, completed his, and then we moved to Marietta, actually, where I moved the summer right before the fourth grade.
Okay, awesome. And so again, what were for you some of those early entrepreneurial inspirations? When did you start to think to yourself, hey, I might want to start a company one day?
Well, I've always been entrepreneurial. There was a magazine, I forget what it was called, Boy's Life or something, and I signed up knocking on people's doors selling Christmas cards and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was kind of like the Cutco of your time. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. And then I've always built things, models and things like that. So I had a workbench, and I used to build things on the workbench. However, every other weekend I would take the workbench out to the end of my driveway. And not only would I sell lemonade, I'd sell everything I didn't want anymore. I was sort of pre-eBay.
That's the best kind of business.
I was
sell things you don't want.
Pre-eBay, let's say.
Low cost of goods.
Right, exactly. So I always had I guess a flair or a liking of lack of a better word, selling. Okay, I don't like to use the word selling, because I really didn't know anything about sales. But I always was enterprising. That would be the better word. When we got a lawnmower, because my father wouldn't let me get a go-kart, he let me get a mini bike. I couldn't figure it out. It didn't make any sense. But the lawnmower, I liked the motor so much. And as soon as I discovered it was self-propelled, so as soon as I discovered you could raise and lower it up, I turned our backyard into a 3-hole golf course and would charge kids in the neighborhood $0.25 to come play 9 holes. So I was just always very enterprising.
Yeah, I like that. And so you started Age Advantage some time ago, almost 20 years ago.
Correct.
The world was in many ways very different back then. But tell me why you decided to get into this industry, and what were those early days like for you?
Getting into this was really the exception. Throughout my career, I have always come up with ideas and then gone and done them. Okay. Originally, I planned on being a physician. I got into med school. And then I decided not to go. And I went and opened a sunroof business in Miami, cutting roofs off the cars for the car dealerships. I came back to Atlanta. I got into the executive search business.
Well, I just want to clarify something. You said you were cutting sunroofs. So at this time, sunroofs were like a post-manufactured custom installation thing?
Well, started with the pop tops, okay?
All right.
However, we did such good work that I wound up going to Brighton, Michigan, a place called Cars and Concepts, which physically puts the T-tops into Chrysler cars and Ford cars. And so if the Ford dealership sold, or Chrysler sold a LeBaron, and they didn't have one in stock with a T-top, they sent it to me, and we literally cut the entire roof off, gutted the interior, put it back together. So throughout my career, it's always been an idea that I've come up with and then just gone for it. Skincare, and this was the exception. I had invented an electronic product. It was ahead of its time. It made everything in your entertainment center come out on every TV in your house. It's what they're doing now, but this was in 1989. And I was successful in raising $400,000 from a local group here in Atlanta. And when that, after about 4 years, and that was over with, I was in between things, and I was trying to figure out what to do. So there was a fella, he's no longer with us, but had a skincare company, supplements and skincare, and they did it over the telephone. And I knew him from just the circle of people at the Peachtree Cafe, which was around at that time in Buckhead. So what wound up happening is my girlfriend at the time, who knew him, this fella, his name was Ole, he was constantly, particularly when I raised the $400,000, he was hounding me to come work with him, but I was busy. So I was in between things, and I really didn't know what I was going to do, and I was putting a business plan together for something else. And so Julie said to me, well, why don't you go to work for Ole? Go over there. Just do it. And you're not going to make a career out of it.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, I went over there and got taught how to do this by telephone, because we've never had an outside sales force, even though we deal primarily B2B. And I learned about the skincare industry. I said to myself, if this guy's making all this money with these substandard products, okay, I need to go do this myself. So I applied my chemistry background, what I had learned about skincare, and what I had learned and honed in dealing business to business. We're still using the same script today.
Who are your customers, Andrew?
Primarily independently owned health food stores, pharmacies, and high-end skincare centers. Our products actually have very high efficacy.
And so, one of the first discussions that I remember you and I having was about, how you would sell, and you of course said, well, hey, I don't actually sell, and I said, well, it seems to me you're actually a brilliant salesperson, and so
thank you.
I'd love to one just hear about your approach to this. Why are you not in fact selling, but why it still yet works so well? And how'd you learn how to do this?
When I started at this company, Dixie Health, okay, which is where I was not going to make a career out of it, okay, they had a phone script. And it started off with, I'm calling about the 4-color postcard that we sent you. Did you have a chance to look at it? And in fact, they never sent a postcard. So I had a problem with the script from the get-go. And I went home my first day at lunch and I rewrote their entire script. My mode of operation is just being honest, period, okay? And just tell the story. If you believe in what you are selling, okay, I tend to refer to it as presenting. If you have confidence in your product, and you listen to the person that you're speaking with, you'll know whether or not what you have is a fit for them or not a fit for them. If it is a fit for them, then my approach is simply enlightening the person so that they can clearly see for themselves that it is good for them. Now, in the case of business to business, because we don't sell directly to a consumer. We're starting to grow in the e-commerce space. We've been primarily business to business. And the reality is, I've always approached this as, let's just say, for example, Tyler's Health Food Store.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, treat me like I'm I'm in the business in market for some CBD products. Or maybe I'm not in the market, but you think I need.
Well, it's funny that you bring up CBD because these health food stores, they get 50 calls a week,
right?
And everybody's telling them I got the best CBD in life.
Exactly, and so I can't imagine how you're able to break through and stand out and get that.
Well, it's very simple.
Yeah.
We start off with, I'm sure you get 50 calls a week and everybody's telling you they got the best CBD in life, and they go, 50's a low number. Okay, but then we're being honest.
Yeah.
You know, we chuckle at this. You can only make something so good, okay? And the truth of the matter is our products are as good as they get. Now, if some other company makes products that are as good as that they get, theirs are no better than ours are no better than theirs. What I have learned is it's not necessarily, you want quality, obviously, but it's not being the best. It's what makes you different, what makes you stand apart from the rest of the crowd if the product efficacy is the same. So with that said, we treat our customers, if you were our customer, Tyler's Health Food Store, you're not really our customer. You are our retail partner. Because my approach and our team's approach has always been, your customer is ultimately our customer. And as a result of that, I'm just simply, you're in business to make money. You've got X amount of real estate in your store, okay? And our job is just to get the door open to you wanting to get an email from us with the details of what it is we want to present to you. We send you the email. Now, a lot of times these people, takes 2 weeks, they're busy, so you got to be a little diplomatically persistent, and then answer their questions, and now we're in business if it fits. A perfect example of telling the truth, I've started going into some of our retail partners and demoing, okay? We've never done that before, but I decided I wanted to go to Florida and visit a couple places. So they publicize on Facebook and so forth that I'm gonna be there and come in. So you got two crowds there. You got the crowd coming in for the discount to get another bottle because I'm there. And then you've got the crowd that wants to know, that's never used CBD. And it's really a shame with a lot of the inferior products, somebody who does get one of those and then it doesn't do anything for them, then they think CBD's no good, when in fact it's very good for certain things. So I remember I'm down in Vero Beach and people come in and they're asking me questions, and this one woman comes over and she says, she's looking at the display, she says, so what's this stuff for? So I said to her, do you have anxiety? I go down the whole list of things that it could be applicable for and help people. And everybody's body chemistry is different. She didn't suffer from any of those. So I flat out looked at her, I said, you don't need it. Nice meeting you. So the point I'm making is you listen to what you're...
still buy it?
No, I wanted to be candid with her. The point is, you find out what's important to somebody, and if in fact you have something that is a solution or is a fit for them, we're just simply enlightening that person. I could have very easily go down and make up a bunch of other things. Are your shoes too tight? Yeah, they are. Okay, this stuff's perfect for you. Okay, you see what I'm saying? We don't do that. That's selling, okay?
Yeah.
We call it retail partner fulfillment. That's what we do.
Got it. And so, speaking of that, you do have to run a fulfillment operation. You've been doing this for a long time. You've seen a lot of evolution and, how that can be done. I'm curious, what brought you here to Softbox? How do you guys make use of the space, and how's it helpful to you?
Okay, very good question, and thank you for asking me. I won't delve into a lot of detail. Our skincare brand was multiple seven figures a few years ago, and since I had never been in the skincare business, it didn't occur to me that I ought to have a backup lab, just in case the one that's providing for me blows up or something. I hadn't thought of that, all right?
I know about a lot of things that are going on right now.
Right, okay, and in essence, in a nutshell, what happened, this fella who did a good job of taking my original formulas, I went with a list. This is what I want and this and that. I didn't know how to make it. I didn't know about preservatives. I didn't know what goes on in the lab, but I knew what I wanted in it. He did a good job of it, and he didn't do a lot of skincare. He did supplements. So it starts off where UPS is bringing our first two products to us. 2 years later, 18 wheelers are coming with stuff for us. And he wound up knocking our stuff off, okay? And I got all aggravated and I cut him off, okay? And basically went out of business, all right? So between then and now, I operated basically on my own with a little assistance, lived off of reorders from a number of customers, and did some other business ideas, like a lighted lottery ticket scratcher. Like I said, come up with an idea and go do something, okay? So the fast forward, the business, I got refocused on it because my attitude was skincare is never going anywhere. It's always going to be there. And we've got products that people keep on buying. I mean, we're selling products that we made 18 years ago with minor modification, like taking the parabens out. So it got to the point where I'm operating out of my apartment. Then I'm renting storage space in the apartments to set up as a little warehouse.
How did you rent storage space in the apartment?
Where I was at, it was Hanover on East Paces.
Okay.
They physically had, like similar to you have here at Saltbox, what looks like you're at one of those storage areas.
Cages,
They had these inside the building.
Okay.
It was wonderful. And they apparently took an apartment and did this. So my unit, which was 6 by 10, actually had windows in it that faced Far Road. But then I was busting at the seams, so I got a house, and I was using the sunroom and the second bedroom.
Did you get the house in part in order to continue to run this business?
Correct.
So you kind of said, hey, I get two for one essentially here. House and some more warehouse space.
Right. So then I started busting at the seams there too, and I'm doing this all myself. And the thought occurred to me, one.
And are you shipping out to your customers?
Oh yeah.
House? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm running stuff.
How's that going? I mean, do you have the carriers coming, or are you having to go and drop stuff off?
Well, until I got into the CBD, we have primarily utilized priority mail. I've used priority mail since 2008, and until the past, and it's not their fault, but it used to be a lot more dependable. Okay. Even before all this, they started getting a little slack. Okay, but we still use them. And so UPS was not really something, but if I did need to send a UPS, I'd take it to the UPS store. Otherwise, I'd take it to the post office. So I'm growing, I'm starting to get where I'm literally busting at the seams. And I decided in order to grow, I need to build a team again. And I can't be having people come to my house. So it was in September. It was last September. It was a Saturday night. And I knew, of course, I never knew about the wonderful concept you have here. Because it didn't exist. Okay.
Yep.
And I went online, and I know, some people have a warehouse and they've got a little corner that they're not using, and they might have an empty office or something.
You can maybe negotiate a little deal.
Right, exactly. Sure. So I look up, I Google shared warehouse space. Now I got to tell you, you popped up at the top of the list, but somehow I clicked something that I was getting calls from brokers for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, no, wait, not from us.
No,
okay.
And I wasn't even interested in it, because I looked at your site and booked a tour immediately. And as you're aware, when I came here, the warehouse suites were done, but the whole, everything on the other side. You had a lot of vision. Oh, there was water all over the floor, They were starting to put up some of the steel, And then I was told that you're planning on opening November 1st, and I'm busting at the seams, and I need to do something. But I decided not to do anything, just stay the way I was. And also, being that we deal business to business, trying to get new accounts in November and December is a no-go. So the timing really wasn't right, even November 1st. So around the middle of December, now we're getting through this holiday season, I go online again, and you've still got space. And so that brought me here. So initially it was, if you're thinking, well, what problems did this solve for you? Well, it solved the space problem. It solved an efficiency problem with the services you have of UPS and US Mail and everybody, FedEx, all coming here. There's staff here, that was all good. And I was very excited about not being in a corner in somebody's warehouse. So it solved my initial growth things in terms of space, storage, all that type of thing. When
you first came, as I recall, you had an office only. Is that right? Or did you?
No, I started with the one person office and the warehouse space I have. And the idea behind that was I was going to start hiring more salespeople and get busy with what we do very well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the whole pandemic hit and everything else, which was not fine, but I mean, it didn't put the business out of business is what I mean by fine, okay? And what I have really found, it's great that y'all are flexible, that as companies grow, they can move into a bigger space if available, although now it's become so popular here. Okay.
A little challenging.
You got to get on the waiting list.
We're working on it.
But that's great. No, I'm sure you are. But what has really been the most benefit to me is the community, is you, one of the founders, Paul, Maxwell, and then your management. You take a real interest in the companies that are here. I tried WeWork for a while. There was one up the road from my house in Buckhead. No comparison. You get a little space there, and that's what you got. Is a little, and I did it just simply to get out of my house. All right. The environment here is such that it is motivating to come here. The entrepreneurs and the business people, the support of management, the support of the founders, obviously prior to the pandemic, and I'm sure as things calm down, whenever that may be, you would hold these lunch and learns and even invite people in that were not even members here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, John, one of the things that I apologize for
no worries
there, but one of the things that I really hoped for when we started Softbox was that our members would find benefit in being around each other, not just for the kind of communal aspect, but quite literally in getting business done. And I know you're a perfect example of that, and have done a number of collaborative projects with other members. And I'd love for you just to talk some about how those things came together, because it's really fascinating.
Well, it all started with just mingling with the community. Now, being that there's been debate as to whether Gamal was the first one here or whether I was the first one here, but it doesn't matter.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, okay? And it doesn't matter if I was the 10th person here, but I am one of the first people here. So as a result, there were not a whole lot of people around. So I was able, when someone new came in, to meet them in the hall and hi, who are you, and all that stuff. And so there would be the development of just the association with these people. And to be candid with you, even with no business collaborations, it's fun. I look forward to coming here. It's fun. It's a great community. I consider it like a family. As a matter of fact, it's been so beneficial, I think I may have even told you one time, I refer to it as cash box.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So not a cash box for me. It's cash suck, but in a good way. But
absolutely. Well, that's like me and my hemp mask. So we're losing our rear end on them. Okay, but it's all right. So the business collaborations came about just simply from finding out what each other does. And I've had people, being that, I've been in skincare a long time and I have a partner that's an owner in a manufacturing plant. I've had people that are doing other things, with some sort of formulations, come consult with me, ask me questions, and where someone I know knows something that I don't know and I need that information. So we've developed relationships. And then through that, being that people here are entrepreneurial, we tend to see if there's a business opportunity doing some sort of collaboration. So that is what has transpired. And thus far, I actually, and this is a funny story when you asked how it happened, we're now doing a business collaboration with, we're looking at doing a CB-infused CMOS. But more importantly, aside from that, I was able to bring him some business. We just got a new health food store right up the road here on Collier called Herb Shop. And it's funny because I'd been driving by there since December and I never saw it. Okay, well, apparently they've been paying rent on it since April. And they were just opening up. He had heard about CBD Made Easy. He saw an ad in Energy Times magazine. He literally cut it out. And now that they were opening, he called and he said, I've researched you. We want to bring your line in. So I went up there and picture this. I'm making a presentation in an empty room. The two owners are standing up and I'm on the floor presenting my products on a 5-gallon pail. Okay. But the long and short of it is they're now open. And Baja, our marketing and social media team member. We went up there because we wanted to, see if we could help out, and we gave him posters and stuff. So he's trying to sell. First, he tells me he's got a gift for me. And it's like this $100 bottle of vitamins. And I said to him, that's for me? He goes, well, we're going to give you a discount. I said, well, I don't need any. Okay, anyway, so I'm trying to think of every single thing I can think of. And finally, I told him, I don't need the enzymes. I use sea moss. So he says to me, you guys make sea moss too? And I said, no. One of my colleagues
Ricky
and associates, he now has his products in that herb shop.
That's awesome.
So I was happy to have, but the collaborations come from just getting to know one another. Now there are a few of the newer members, the latest members, that at this point, the group, so to speak, which is the majority of us, maybe haven't mingled with yet, and they may not want to mingle with us, but it's the community, it's the spirit here. Yeah. It's just the whole vibe that's going on here.
Well, we'll work on that. I'll make sure I make those connections. But that story you just told really speaks to the very heart of what we were hoping would happen in a place like this. And so I appreciate you making it happen.
Sure. And it's not even a matter that, it's not like I went to Rick and said, hey, listen, this is my account, okay? You have to. No, I'm happy to help. Absolutely. We all help each other around here.
Absolutely. So what's next for you? I mean, you clearly at this point are a lifelong entrepreneur and creator. What's next for Age Advantage, and what's next for Andrew?
Grow the company. You want me to be blunt?
Yeah.
Grow the company to about 5 or 6 million.
Yeah.
Sell it for 6 times revenue. Yeah. And then I'm investing in Saltbox. If you'll let me in.
I will let you.
Okay, thank you.
Whenever you are ready, you've got an allocation there.
Well, as a matter of fact, even when I met Paul and the place wasn't even built, I was telling him, I said, this is such an amazing concept. I mean,
That's good. That's good. Well, Andrew, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun talking to you. So happy to have you here. You're such a vital part of this community, and really appreciate you, and wish you the best.
Well, thank you very much. And the feeling is mutual, and y'all and Saltbox are a vital part of my business.